IRCC has decided to increase the cost of living requirement for study permit application. This was long due. Why was it long due? First of all, what did happen? On the 7th of December, IRCC, Mark Miller, finally came out, because otherwise they only come out one day before the expiry of any policy. And they made few clarifications. 5 announcements were made. One, I've already told you, postgraduate work permits will not be extended. Second was, for the new applications for study permit, the cost of living factor that you need to take into account has been increased. All this while, you required to show $10,000 as living expenses for one person. So for 2 people, it was 14,000. For 3, it was 17,000. So family of 3 was 17. Now, cost of living that you have to show is linked to LICO. LICO stands for Low Income Cutoff. This is updated every year by ESDC based on the cost of living and taking into account the inflation. For express entry, we all know you need LICO as well, right? You need your proof of funds, and it is usually 50% of the LICO, only 50%. But for study permit applications, it has been made into 75%, which is more than what you need for your express entry as a federal skilled worker. Now, I do not know whether this is coming from all those YouTubers who thought it was such a way to brag that, hey, I can get free food from the food bank. Listen, you don't need to spend money. Let's go and take free food, which probably we will waste most of it. But they made so many of those videos. I'm sure you've seen. I mean, if you're on YouTube, go and search free food for international students. You can see so many videos of these guys who made these videos. Then there was this press coverage of international students who were sleeping on the streets in a tent because they couldn't find a house or they couldn't afford to rent a house. When all of these things kept cropping up, and obviously the government getting a lot of bad press for it, they became more sensible as to ensuring that the students who come to Canada are able to demonstrate that not only are they going to be able to pay their tuition fees, which, as I said, on an average is $20,000 per year, but they should also have sufficient amount of funds available to them to manage their living expenses. 20,635, that is now the latest number for one person. For 2 people, it's about 24,000. For 3 people, it's about 27, 28,000, and it's so on and so forth. So if you're a family of 3 or 4, the amount of funds required for living expenses for 1 year is going to be significant, and that's a big difference. And this takes effect from 1st January, not next year, I mean not 2 years later, not 6 months later, but immediately. So all the applications that are going to be filed from 1st of January onwards for study permit, you must be able to show this much of money. Is it a fair? I mean, I would say it's fair, because even 20,635, to be very honest, for a single person could be a far stretch in your affordability. This number of 10,000 was set in the year 2000. This is year 2023. 23 years later, if all they're asking is doubling the amount of funds that you need to show, well, I wouldn't say it is unfair. The problem will be for all these agents who are sitting in India, in Pakistan, who manipulate the bank statements, who manipulate all these funds, who loan you the money, and these problems are going to happen on those ends. A lot of people will resort, some of their agents are going to resort to providing fraudulent bank statements, manufactured bank statements. That has already been identified as a big flag, red flag, in a lot of the applications that are submitted by these agents in India, in Pakistan, and in some cases in the Middle East as well. If you're resorting to those kind of people and then you get banned for misrepresentation, forget about being refused. Refuse is something else. Then you get banned for 5 years for misrepresentation, then you only have yourself to blame. But please do watch out, know the requirements, understand the reasons why these requirements are being put in place, and you will be so much better off. That's all from me for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy holidays. Enjoy this month of December. It's very nice. There has been some good news and some not so good, but primarily everything to look forward to as we move into the next year.